Well, good morning, everybody. We are here on Friday doing the thing.
We are live. You started so melodramatically, man. Everyone's like, hi, it's us again. I'm like, all right, look here, Eeyore. Like, let's do this.
Listen, you don't know what it's like. I'm always running these things, no matter how much sleep or a lack of sleep. Oh, snap. Chris is here, and he's got a new
made
title.
It right on time.
Oh,
There he is.
man.
On time, baby.
I like this. I like the title today.
I like the title, buddy. We should just start off with that. Chris, what's it feel like to be an icon?
Well, pretty much every day I wake up and I piss excellence.
That's exactly what I knew you were going to say. In my mind, I heard you saying the words. I love it. I love it.
Oh, man. So
Yeah.
Chris, for any young children out there who's aspiring to be an icon like you one day, what's your words of wisdom for them?
Oh, scary.
Words of wisdom.
Sell houses.
Yeah, this is scary. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, wake up every day like you don't know where your next meal is coming from.
Dang.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
Grind.
that's the reality. It's a grind. I work a lot. I constantly put other people in front of myself, and
You do.
it pays
That's
off
true.
eventually.
Yep.
So
Love it.
It's funny. It reminds me of a conversation Walt and Chris and I were having with an agent who basically said, for X amount of years they've been comfortable, and comfort was killing them because now they don't have what they need to monetarily survive. And it's very interesting. I see that because I think we see that a lot in our industry. In any industry that requires self-discipline. Because where are we taught self-discipline, and where is self-discipline enforced? Not our jobs. Our jobs don't ask us to be generally self-disciplined. They just ask us to clock in on time and do a list of things. There's generally no self-discipline. It's wait for the boss to catch you not doing anything. Then the boss tells you to do something. Then you do the thing, and you keep a job, and you work there for 40 years.
That's
right?
about it.
School? Self-discipline? Are you kidding me?
Not nowadays.
Just do the bare minimum, and you are like on a roll. just don't be the kid who sets the school on fire or does some crazy thing, and let's give you an award for that. And so I Chris, it's funny because you say what you said, and I think there is a level of seriousness that comes with this is really a job. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about it before. I've talked to agents, and I've looked them in the eyes and I said, the excuses you gave me, are they the ones you'd be willing to go home and give to your wife? Would you say those exact same words to them? Hey, I didn't make us money today because I just got busy. I forgot. Because that's the true reality, isn't it, Chris? Would you agree?
Yep.
If your family is depending on you, right, to go pay the bills, and you don't do what it takes to pay the bills, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I gotta go.
So
I got money. I gotta go make some money. I'll be back.
Make sure you have bills so that you're constantly grinding so that you can pay them.
Yeah. Don't take this as a go overspend.
Yeah.
We will soon. Trina says we might all need to start rocking the Hawaiian shirts. It's happening.
Well, they're coming.
They've been shipped, and in about a month, we're gonna be wearing matching Hawaiian shirts, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm excited. And I'm thinking like we'll have a commemorative one year over year for the Carbon Club. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll just have, just a whole collection.
I like it.
Yeah,
I can always add to my collection.
Great.
you really can. So, we always have our normal things we enjoy talking about, but I know last week we wanted to talk a little bit about kind of as a whole, finances in real estate and what we've been seeing. There were some fairly big news, I think, that came out around an unnamed brokerage. But they're not the first, and they won't be the last. And I thought, I know we all had lots we wanted to share about that and kind of talk about what's happening. So I'll set the kind of tone for it, and then we can just kind of start talking about it. Because again, well, let's just basically what happened is an unnamed brokerage came out and basically said they don't have enough money anymore. In fact, they never had enough money. They were grossly in debt, and instead of resolving that debt, they acquired more debt during that period. Now, mind you, this is a very common practice, so I'm not even dogging on this unnamed brokerage. But they kept acquiring more debt to further a business that wasn't profitable. Very interesting concept, and not the first time we've seen this in other industries either. And now what's happening is that they have to give some level of accountability. Now, that accountability does not go to the agents at their brokerage. The accountability goes to the people, their debtors, the people who they owe money. So they basically came out and said, well, we're going to cut staff. Okay, no surprise there. Of course, people are expendable. They'll cut staff before they'll cut bonuses. That's most companies. And then they said all the things basically that you liked about us that made us unique, we're getting rid of those. That's the truth. There were very particular things that made this brokerage unique, and those are exactly the things that they said publicly, we're going to cut these things or remove these things. And then inevitably, those are like when they say tax the rich in America, as if that'll fix all the trillions of dollars in debt. And it's like, there's other problems too, like maybe how you're spending. So inevitably, these cuts won't fix anything. It's just a little Band-Aid on a gaping wound, or I should say like many wounds. So that made us all start to talk about in our chats and stuff, like, it's a very prominent brokerage. How did this happen? Why did this happen? And why did agents willingly or unwillingly or unknowingly, knowingly or unknowingly join a brokerage that had terrible financial practices? So I don't know if that set the scene pretty good. Let's make sure we do not use the name of the brokerage, because we're not here to bash any brokerage. It could have been another brokerage. There are plenty. Won't be the last. It's more about talking about financial from a brokerage level, but also this will trickle down straight to the agent. It is a global thing. It is not just a brokerage thing. So anybody wants to chat and start talking, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when I'm not doing real estate, I am a certified financial coach. So I talk to people individually about money all the time, about debt, about leverage, about loans, about how do you get your spending in order to achieve a particular goal. And it's mind-boggling sometimes. The larger in scale the entity is, while they're spending even more money than an individual, their concept of what proper finance is just somehow kind of goes out the window as they get bigger, right? You can look at the huge scale, right? Look at Congress, look at our national deficit, right? Like only entity in the history of the world so far that's been able to continue to go in debt that long and not go bankrupt. But you talk about that with an individual person, and they individually, right? You can teach them. They get that. Like, yes, that makes sense on paper. I cannot spend more money than I make. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then as that grows up, right now, take it from an individual agent perspective. Here's your budget. How do I manage a floating income that's never stable? How do I save and invest when I'm not in a position to have a savings or an investment account because I do real estate? I don't have a 401k. As you grow that up into the team perspective, that's when you start to see the team leaders, right, can start to get a little loose with the team's finances, because it's no longer that tangible of a pain point, right? Because if it's my money, it matters tremendously to me and my family. If it's the team's money, not saying our team, of course, but in just general mindset, if it's the team's money, it impacts me less because it's spread across, let's say, 30 agents. If it's a brokerage's money and I've got 75 agents and I'm still not technically profitable because the statistics are mind-boggling, right? You got to have a good, solid 75 to 100 producing agents to be profitable. Mm-hmm. So if I'm spending money on a brokerage level and it's spread across 50, 75, 100 agents, I feel that even less. And so I get looser with the finances, and it just keeps scaling up from there. So then you take a multinational, multi-$100 million entity. They at the top, they don't feel that at all until one day they wake up and they realize, oh crap, we've been doing this poorly for a while now, and now the kind of, as the old country saying goes, the roosters have come home to roost, or something like that.
Or something like that.
And so now they have to make these dramatic changes to try to get a handle on what took months and months and months of irresponsibility financially to put them in that spot where they finally noticed. But the damage is done now, right? It's almost too late. You got to make some dramatic changes in order to get back on any sort of solid footing. So it's funny how
to be very honest here, I had to hold in my rooster call. Like,
oh gosh,
I really wanted to make rooster noises. I held it in. I did not.
You should have. I think I would have driven home the point. That would have been perfect.
I'm just gonna go ahead and keep holding it in. But
nice, yeah. So that's my. I look at that as a lesson that any agent can learn from, right? Again, it's any brokerage can fall into that trap of it's not really my money because I'm an entity, right? I can move it around. I can write off the taxes over here. I can shuffle things around. I can do the corporate board game and make it look at the end of the day like I lost less. But in reality, if you know how to read a quarterly report, we are losing money every quarter. But the same lessons can be applied to the individual agent to ensure that their business continues to thrive in an environment where we don't know what the market's going to do 3 years from now, right? We don't know how their business is going to be affected by the next big thing, the next catastrophe, the next monkeypox 4.0 that shuts down an economy for 7 months in a row, right?
Yeah.
There's all those unknowns, and you can take the lessons from that particular brokerage and apply them into your individual business, and you can put yourself in a better position to ride out whatever storm comes next, because there will be another one, right? There'll be something else that affects our economy in a negative way.
Many things even at once. You never know. Heaven forbid it's an election year and a monkeypox year at the same time. Ooh, that would hurt.
Are you saying that our politicians would intentionally do things during the election years, midterms, 60 days away, to negatively influence our economy simply to try to buy votes, Robert?
Never.
Is that what you're saying right now?
What? That is a ludicrous idea.
Okay, our government would never do that.
Never. They're the good guys, Walter.
Look, I was with the government for 21 years. We're not the good guys. Sorry.
No government is the good guys ever since the dawn of governments. So let me ask you guys a question. Why should the agents at this particular brokerage care? Lots of companies are in debt. Why should real estate agents, team leaders, ex-brokerage owners, basically just run a team, why should they care? Netflix is in debt all the time. and I know that nobody who watches Netflix is concerned about whether Netflix is in debt, which Netflix runs an absurd amount of debt. So why should those agents care? I have some thoughts, but I want to hear from you guys first. Why should they care?
Well, the Netflix watchers are just consumers, so it's not really going to affect a consumer as much. The consumers don't care. Your business goes fails and goes bankrupt, whatever. There's going to be somebody else there to take that place. So does it really matter to the consumer? Probably not. Nor are they paying attention like we are.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If Netflix collapses, Disney Plus will take over.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not.
No, the end user
So-
sitting on their couch at home in the evening, that doesn't blip their radar.
Yeah, but in the sense of a real estate agent, even though you're self-employed, you still have an entity that is over you that is supposed to guard, your transactions or how things are run or things like that. So if that completely collapses, ultimately, unless you have someone on backup that you can immediately move all of your stuff over to, and to be honest, that's a complete process as well, right? Especially if you have a ton of deals, your business is going to be dramatically affected, and that can have a huge negative impact, especially if you're running a team and you have team members. Now you have to figure out, is the brokerage going to work for everybody? Is everybody going to come over? No, now we're going to have to separate that stuff. Like, if a brokerage collapses, it's still within the realm of your business, even though we are self-employed to an extent.
Yeah.
Definitely some great points. Irene's over there like, huh? What you guys even talking about? I didn't sign up for this.
Irene's like, if the broker collapses, I don't have transactions to manage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Irene says there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Or in our fish tank.
Either one.
Yeah.
See, I think that it was Chris. You said earlier. Said the consumer's not watching like we're watching. I think it's the same for agents too. I think a lot of agents think of themselves in this industry as consumers. They go to a brokerage to consume, versus what I believe a relationship that your brokerage should be is a partnership. Because you are an individual business according to law, right? And so you're forming a partnership with that brokerage. Brokerage says, I'll do X, Y, and Z. You do X, Y, and Z, and together we'll make money. Simple as that. And so I think that mindset that agents, which guess what? Probably for 90% of their life, and in 90% of the ways in their life, they are a consumer. And that's not a bad thing, right? That's not a bad thing. I'm not telling them to go own Netflix. Right? You can just go and enjoy Netflix, but that makes them a consumer. When they go to the grocery store, they are a consumer. So in almost every aspect of their life, they're a consumer. Probably before real estate, most people, I would argue, had a 9-to-5 job. Guess what? Most employees, when they go to work, they're more of a consumer. That's just the truth. So when they get into real estate, they just still consume. They're just a consumer versus realizing that they're a distributor. They are an entity. They are a CEO. They run a business, and that business has a product, a service that they deliver. And so I think some of the danger of when agents don't consider who they have around them is the ways they don't notice it's affecting their business. I think that's where the danger is. They go, oh yeah, that thing's happening. Not a big deal. I'm good. That mindset is what has allowed other things to slip into their business that they don't know about. That pride, that arrogance, that complacency, that willful ignorance. You're literally paying a company that does not know how to manage funds and says they will do things to take from you and your business to make up for their mistakes. And you think that doesn't affect you? And you think that that's appropriate? And then you wonder why people have a poor view of the industry. Well, you're supporting a company that mismanages funds. I don't want to ever hear them complain then that they're upset that the industry is the way it is and agents are the way they are, which I know some of these individuals that are at this brokerage, and those are the things that they say. And I'm like, you're feeding the beast. You're causing some of the problems out there. You're saying, I don't care that there's crap going on in our industry. I'm actually going to pay that crap to continue to be crap.
on a different scale, but very similar, right? That mindset is very pervasive in the industry, right? We think about things like Realtor.com and Zillow and all of the lead generation styles, right? And so the vast majority of agents will say, Zillow sucks at what they do. Look at, they messed up their own CEO's estimate. Like, it's crap. It's garbage. I hate it. Please take my $10,000 a year and send me random data. You're feeding the thing that you say is bad for our industry as a whole, because you're not willing to break out of your own head and learn how to generate business on your own. You'd rather pay a bad company to send you random data and complain about the bad company, but you're still feeding the beast. That mindset is so pervasive, right? If I could do nothing in this world, I would explain to people how easy it is for them to generate the exact same data that they're paying Zillow to generate for them. Go do it yourself, but they don't. It's funny that it wasn't that long ago where the news broke that Zillow was shutting down their iBuyer service because they were losing millions and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter. They were laying off a fourth of their staff, right? That news was recent. And so what was Zillow's answer to that problem of we are losing all this money? It wasn't let's get better at what we do. It wasn't let's actually refine our business model so it's better. It was let's charge the agents more for the info we give them so we can make more money off the agents and still suck at what we do.
Yep.
If the agents stopped using that service, they're gone in a day. Never mind that they lost all the money on the iBuyer side. Never mind they can't manage their money and they lose hundreds of millions a quarter. I think it's like 1.4 billion over the last couple of years that they've lost. The agents that hate them are propping them up in the industry. And they're profitable enough that they can just keep sucking the money away from the agents and they'll be okay. It's crazy, that mindset we get into where we don't think that we can do it for ourselves, and therefore we want to go pay somebody else to do it for us.
It's still a level of comfort as well, if you think about it.
Because
it means that you don't have to go outside of yourself to be uncomfortable to grow your business. You're still looking for the easy button. That's a huge thing within this industry. I mean, even for agents that are getting into the business, right? We hear it all the time, and no offense to anyone that's getting into it, but most agents that are getting into the business, when you ask them, why do you want to be in real estate? Well, I love to design homes. I love to check out pretty things, right? I love people. That's fantastic. That is not a business model at all. Like, that's because you want to do something fun. And people still, for some reason, seem to think that getting into real estate means easy money. Oh, I just sell a house and I make a bunch of money. Right? Like, it's fine. Yeah. There's so many scams out there that try to prove, right, that there's this quick way to make money, that like people associate real estate with that as well. So therefore, if you're in it and you're comfortable because you're paying leads and that's easy stuff coming to you, why would you go outside of yourself to actually do the work to create your own business so that no one can take it away from you?
Are you saying that I can't just take my pre-license course, pay a couple $1,000s for some signs and lockboxes and MLS access, and then kick my feet up and the magic deal fairy just sprinkles the money in my lap?
It's magic deal fairy.
What?
I thought that's how this worked. Oh, I'm getting out. I'm done.
Now, I want to preface something, and you guys can agree or disagree on this, but I want to say something for myself. I am not one of the people who hate Zillow. I don't hate Zillow. I think Zillow saw an opportunity. They came in, took full advantage of the opportunity.
Yep.
I don't think it's wrong for agents to buy Zillow leads. Here's where I think there should be a reflection though. If the majority of your business comes from someone else's business and you have no control, no say, no authority over any aspect of what you receive from them, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
Yep.
Okay. So that's one part. The other part I'll say is that if you think that Zillow is a problem, or maybe just not a benefit to the consumer, but you support Zillow, you're a hypocrite. So I'm not opposed to someone who goes, listen, I do Zillow, this is what I do, and I understand the impact of my choices. I understand that I'm contributing to a company that I don't think is good for consumers or their industry or whatever. And I understand that I'm making my business vulnerable by having that be the main source of my business. Okay, I can respect you for that.
Yep.
Because I don't think Zillow is a problem. Because like you said, Walter, if agents just stopped, just like the politicians aren't the problem. It's the people voting for them who say,
absolutely,
it's fine, I'll keep them in office. I won't do anything about it except complain.
Yeah.
Except complain. And so Irene's like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I signed up for. It's okay, Irene. It's okay.
Yeah.
She's like, I haven't had my coffee. I'm not ready for this discussion.
I haven't had it. That's very true.
Where's your coffee at, Irene? This is
I
my
know.
third cup already.
It's grocery pickup day, so it's Starbucks day. So when I'm going out, that's what I'm going for. So I'm just like waiting for that.
So you're just sucking
He's
it up.
counting down the meeting.
Yeah.
No. That's funny.
How much longer? Okay.
Yeah.
I can do this.
I can do this. I can do this. I believe it.
But it is true to what you're saying, Robert, and I think that's in a lot of industries across the board. Is it's easier for us to put blinders on and act like we don't see it, so that we don't have to step into that position of helping, because we'd rather be in our own world. Because if I stay in my own world, then nothing can hurt me, right? If I stay away from that and I see it happening, but I just ignore it, but I'll complain with everybody else, right? Because I want to be a part of everyone else. I want to make sure everybody knows that I agree with them. But it's easy for me to put blinders on and pretend that there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. The problem with that thought process, I think we probably all agree with it, right? Is if I have my blinders on, at some point, whatever is slowly encroaching in on me and my business and my family and my finances, my blinders don't stop it from encroaching in. And when it implodes, I implode with it, financially and as my business. So it's like driving a car down the highway. I can close my eyes doing 65 and drive down the highway for a period of time. But if I keep my eyes closed long enough, I'm either going to go head on into somebody else or off a guardrail into the side of the river. And that's kind of the way it is in the business, right? If you don't grab a hold of your goals and your plans and how am I going to create something that is uniquely mine, so I don't have to only rely on an outside influence to make this work. Because, Zillow's an example, right? Anything, brokerages are an example. If I'm constantly with my blinders on, relying on outside influence, the moment that outside influence goes away, now I'm in catastrophe mode because I still got bills to pay. I still got a family to support. I still got goals I want to achieve. And all of the things I was relying on to help me do it are gone. That's not the time to be able to sit down and say, well, let me break out the goals and figure out how I do this on my own. Because now you're in emergency mode, right? So sure, if you feel like there's an ROI to use Zillow to help grow your business for a while, great. But what else are you doing to go constantly and steadily grow your business? So at some point you can say, I don't need to work off referrals now because I've built something I can sustain. That's where you got to take those blinders off and realize I got to do something on my own here too. I am the CEO of my business. I have to act like it at some point.
Yeah. And if you look at a lot of the agents that kind of came out of the woodwork during 2020 that were like, oh, I've been running my business, I've been through 2-3 downturns and it hasn't affected me at all, it's because they run their business their way.
Yeah, exactly right.
Completely agree. Oh, Chris took off the hat. Are things getting serious or are they getting less serious? I don't remember which one's.
My hat kept on like disappearing in the screen. So
yeah. I thought he was going
I
to
wanted
turn the
everyone
hat
to know
around.
that my it is here. There's no hair, but the head is here.
I was waiting for him to turn his hat around and go. And if anyone's ever seen an 80s movie, you know what I'm talking about. Sylvester Stallone, Over the Top, greatest arm wrestling movie of all time. There we go.
Is that better?
Now he's ready to win.
We need the dramatic.
That actually is pretty hilarious because if you raise your head up another inch, the opening of your ball cap will match the E perfectly in EXP. Screenshot that. That's his new logo. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Wow, that was
fantastic.
Brilliant.
I could actually shave part of my beard to finish out the E. So like just shave the mustache off, shave part of the beard, completely finish out the E.
That could be amazing.
As long as you don't continue to walk around with EXP like behind your head, so it forever makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's definitely a thing.
Like we said, you got to make your own unique business, right? We just planned Chris's out. He'll never have to worry about somebody else.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
It's not easy to do this backwards. There we go. It's like back in a trailer.
Nice.
There we go.
All right, so
I love how you just compared that to backing a trailer.
that's good.
Well, it is because you're going. I'm having to go like the opposite direction that you would think. So, whatever.
Love it.
Tell me you've never backed a trailer without telling me you never backed a trailer.
I feel like, Kat, that's got to be something you've done. With all the single mom life that you've had, you've definitely rolled up your sleeves and done a lot. You tell me you backed up a trailer, right?
Not single mom life, farm life.
Yeah.
We've backed them with 4-wheelers, trucks, everything.
Yep.
Love it. All right, so what else are we talking about today? We resolved Chris's entire business entity. He's set for life now. He's about to become a double super secret icon, right? Never mind icon. We just took his business to a whole new level. Who's next? We can do this all day.
Oh, one thing that I wanted to touch base that we talked about in the beginning, but we jumped into the brokerage side of it, is why would people make the decision of being with someone like that? And so I have an interesting perspective on that one from an agent's standpoint, especially a newer agent. And that is, no one knows that you can interview the brokerage. Most agents that are getting into the business will get online and they'll ask a bunch of questions, right? The good, the bad, tell me about this brokerage, tell me about that brokerage. And then they will schedule an interview with that brokerage. But because we are such in a corporate mindset of they should be interviewing me, that a lot of agents do not come in with their own questions.
Yeah.
So therefore, whatever that brokerage tells them, the same mindset as an employee, they listen, they accept. Sometimes they may ask a little bit, but they do not ask the questions like a business owner because they don't know what it's like to be one. And so therefore they're roped in or they're suckered into whatever sounds fantastic, that it just is what it is, right? Every brokerage wants to blow their brokerage up, make it sound fantastic. We have these many agents. We're this top of this, blah, 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 right? But if you are coming into that and you don't understand what that means, then you are going to fall right into it and be like, oh, this sounds amazing.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a very good point. Most agents never interview the broker. They think that they're going to be interviewed by the broker. That's 100% the opposite of what it should be. You're right. They should go in with a list of questions on how do you, as a broker, how do you serve me and my business?
Yep.
Because that's your purpose, right? And it's not an arrogance thing. It's not, you don't have to go in and point your finger at their chest, but as a broker, as a brokerage, your existence is to serve the agents so that they can go serve the clients. That's how the industry grows and benefits the consumer. Great brokerages serve agents, great agents serve clients. That's how this works. So you're 100% right. They don't go in with that mindset and they don't ask the questions that they need to ask. They just get this rose-colored overview of, oh yeah, we have training, we have coaching, we have this. Our agents are wonderful. They love the family environment. We'll let you join. Oh, thank you so much. You'll let me join your brokerage. Every freaking brokerage in existence will let you join.
Yep.
Every single one of them will be like, absolutely, come on over.
Yep.
Every brokerage will recruit you. You need to know what's best for you, best for your family, best for your business. What resources do they have for you? But nobody asks those questions. You're 100% right.
I was just going to say that too. I almost laugh when I hear agents like, I'm so nervous. I'm waiting to hear back and see if the brokerage will accept me. I'm like,
yeah. Like, let me tell you how that's going to go. In less than 24 hours, they're going to say, congratulations, we accepted you.
Yep.
Absolutely, they will. And then it just is a matter of whether you regret that decision later. Right.
And
Trina said she probably asked too many questions. There really aren't. There's no way you can ask too many questions.
Nope.
You can go down that rabbit hole all day long, right? Tell me about your coaching and training. Well, we do this. We have training. We okay, great. How often? Where is it at? Is it virtual? Is it in person? What are you training me on? Is it contract law or is it how to build my business? What kind of business strategies are you teaching me? Who's teaching it? Have they ever closed the deal or are you paying them to teach something from a workbook? Right? You can go down the rabbit hole all day long until you are comfortable enough to say, this aligns with my business and it makes sense for me.
Yep. One of the things that I tell people to ask and that I asked myself was, can I sit through some of your classes?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can ask a brokerage or you can ask a team or whatever it is you're doing. Please understand that if you are joining a team, you should be asking questions on that team as well. Because again, that team is supposed to support you for your business. So you should be asking these questions. But you have to be very careful when you say like, well, I want to kind of see a little bit more of what you do. Because again, a brokerage is more than likely, especially with brick and mortar, right? They're going to have their little clique of people. They're like, oh, I got the perfect agent for you to talk to. Well, guess what? That agent's probably been with them forever and never says a bad thing about them because the office does extra stuff or they help out or whatever the case may be. And so they are a perfect advocate for their office. They are very biased of that office. So even when I originally chose my first two, when I went to a different one than the one I ended up choosing, one of the things that I asked them, same thing like you said, Walt, was what kind of training do you guys offer? And they're like, oh, we have in person and we do some online. And I was like, okay, how much of it is actually in person? Well, we have occasionally, right? Like they kept like alluding to it. But as I kept asking, I kept realizing that like most of your stuff is actually online. And then I was like, okay, well, then how does the training work there? Like, is it live? Can I ask questions? They're like, well, there's a lot of pre-recordings. And I was like, oh God, okay. So I'm never going to get to ask questions in front of anyone. And so I'm technically going to be completely on my own. Right. I had the brokerage walk me around the office. I was like, I would love to meet some of the agents that are here and stuff like that. That gave me a feel for the atmosphere. So it's the same thing when you're talking with a brokerage or you're talking with a team that you want to be on. You need to meet people and you need to feel that you are welcomed, because to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I almost went with a brokerage and decided not to, was because they fed all this crap. They tried to beat out the other brokerage that I told them I was thinking about. And then when I walked through the office and got to meet the people, I was like, oh God, this is horrid. Nobody wants to look at me. No one wants to even acknowledge me. They wave and do their own thing. Like they're used to people. You could tell they were used to people just coming in, being talked to, psyched up. And then that was the end of it. And I was like, I do not want to be a part of this culture. So that's another thing that people really need to look at, is talk to multiple people. Don't ask the questions online where people can bash other brokerages and tell you all the crap that sucks because their experience was horrible. Talk to people in those brokerages.
Yeah. And it really helps to know ahead of time what your own goals are for your business, right? Because even as a new agent, right, set some goals for you so that you can have more productive conversations to see if that brokerage aligns with what you're trying to accomplish, right? Mm-hmm. So whether that's numbers and metrics and closed deals and I want to make this much money or whatever it is, have some construct in your head about where you want to move your business so that you know how to interview the brokerage and assess the office to see if they're going to have the tools and resources to help you accomplish your goals. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? The brokerage is there to support you and your business. If you don't know how you want them to support you, it's a little more difficult to interview them effectively because you don't even know what you want to ask.
Yeah.
So that little bit of self-reflection and prep ahead of the interview can go a long way to make it a better interview process for you.
Mm-hmm. And don't make it about money. I think that that's a big, huge one that I see across the industry. Is that's the first thing that your brokerage that you're interviewing with likes to bring up, right? Is, oh, well, our cap is only this, or, oh, well, we don't have a cap. You just do this, this, and this. And, oh, well, we only take this, this, and this. And I see that happen a lot with a lot of newer agents that are looking at like the 100% brokerages, right? No offense to them. If that works for your business, fan freaking tastic, right? But for a lot of people that are coming into the industry, they see that part as enticing because like, oh, I get to keep more money in my pocket. But then they forget all of the rest of it. And the
100%
problem
of nothing, still nothing.
Yeah. You're not going to get anywhere. And that's a huge thing that I see a lot of people asking online or in the real estate groups that are thinking about getting into real estate or changing brokerages is they immediately go to the money side of it. And it's like, to be honest, I wouldn't mind paying up to a certain extent if I know that I am getting everything that is going to help me grow, because ultimately I'm going to grow faster. Versus if I start with the minimal amount of money in the beginning and I have to do everything on my own, now I'm trudging through the trenches by myself and it's going to take me even longer. And as we all know, 80% of agents don't make it past their first 2 years. So guess what's more than likely going to happen? You're going to become a statistic. You're going to get bogged down and you're going to be out.
Yeah. Yeah, the resources matter far more than the commissions, especially when you start, right? You can always change, right? You can always build a business up and learn some things and then decide to do something else. There's nothing wrong with that. But those resources to help you learn and grow properly, far, far more valuable than the extra 5% or $50 a month of this and 10% of that. Wildly more successful.
Yeah,
I remember when I started, I absolutely loved the first broker I was ever with. Loved them to death. Because they were focused on actually helping and training and giving resources. It was a 60-40 split when I started in this business. But I made a lot of money because I learned how to do the business well. That was absolutely worth the extra percentages I was paying the brokerage for the resources and the support that I was getting to grow my business properly. Mm-hmm. Absolutely worth it at the time.
Yeah.
Now looking back, I would have preferred to have known that there was better models initially when I went and joined different brokerages, but it is what it is, right?
I almost think training is now one of the least powerful incentives for brokerages because the access to training right now, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's truly unbelievable. And that's where that's why you see businesses grow and adapt. Like I remember and I wish someone had taught me this, but they probably didn't know either. But I had joined a brokerage that boasts being the #1 in training in the world. And let me tell you, I had a great experience at that brokerage. I'm not upset that I started there. What I'm upset about is that it's like, by whose definition are you in #1 training? Because when I got in and did training, half the training was admin stuff. Here's how to, I'm not even kidding, week over week, Kat knows this too. It was how to correctly fill out this form to submit for your payments. How to fill out this form for this other admin related thing. And almost none of the training was about how, if you're a new agent, or even a producing agent, but you want to scale to a certain degree, here's how to do it. Or here's a way to do it, I should say. That just didn't really happen. And most of the guest coaches that were brought in had a coaching program that they were there to sell. Nothing against that either. But if you are the #1 training in the world and the best coaches you can bring in are people who have a product to sell and don't really tell you what they're doing for success, that's misleading.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
I think training and coaching are kind of the buzzwords of the day in real estate right now, right? Everyone says they have great training. Everyone says that they have coaching available to the agents.
Mm-hmm.
That you really got to dive deep into that with some solid questions and see what that product is that they've got. Because it's easy to say, oh, yeah, we have training. we recorded a 5 video series online. Have at it. Yeah, I mean, that's something, that's knowledge. But like Kat was saying, like, what about the individual people that are using the strategy you're trying to teach me, so I can go refine it and reflect on how it affects my business, and maybe I want to do it slightly differently. Who can I talk to about this? Oh yeah, we have coaching once a week. We're gonna have a guy sit in an office and talk about what he wants to talk about. That's our coaching. That's not coaching. That's some guy telling you how he does something, right? Coaches need to break down what you want to do, how you want to do it. Okay, now let's get you in front of the right resources to grow your way. And so I feel like it's those are the buzzwords of the day in this industry. Oh yeah, we have training and coaching.
We have the best training and the best coaching.
Yeah. So if you're a new agent out there, or even if you're just an agent and you're looking at different brokerage models, take the time to know what you want out of your business and dive into those kinds of questions before you sign the dotted line anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you as well, as far as a lot of coaching, and nothing against anyone that does coaching, because, that's part of what I do as well. But that's why I call it consulting, because I'm not coaching you and hand holding you. I'm giving you the systems and the strategies for you to be able to put it in place and then try it out for your business. And I think that's a huge failure within a lot of brokerages as well, is they're like, oh, we just need a bunch of videos. People can watch videos, but not everybody learns through watching videos. And I learned this when I was with my other brokerage, when I ran on their corporate side, was you had a lot of agents that came in and they're like, great, who can I talk to? Right. And then a lot of people didn't have that you could give to them. And they're like, well, I can't watch videos. I zone out, right? I take notes and I don't remember it, anything. So you have to be able to have different ways to train with people as well. Some people just need the templates so that they can get into it and they can get an overview. Some people need you to really sit down, hold their hand and walk them through it, because for some reason they've never been in a business mindset, and it's very, very hard for them to catch those concepts. So for some, it comes very easy and you can give them the strategies, right, and they're good to go. And then others, you're going to have to talk to 2, 3, 4 times, and it may be over the same thing before they're able to really implement it, because it's still really weird to them because they've never had to do it. And we don't have those options within a lot of training platforms. It's usually done by one person, like you said, Walt, by their way. And then people are expected to kind of take pieces out of that. And everybody that's in real estate, not everyone has the mindset to be like, oh, this is a fantastic idea, but I only want to do this, this, and this. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to create my own, right? Like some of us are. Some of us are just fantastic freaking talkers and people love us. And so therefore we get sales that way. It is what it is. That's nothing wrong with that in your business, but you need to have someone then that can help create those items and put them in place so that you can do things more effectively in your zone of genius.
Agreed.
Zone of genius. I like that term.
Zone of genius.
If you haven't, you should trademark that. That's good.
I know. That's your coaching program now.
Zone of genius.
Zone of genius. I like it.
I do think it's awesome, though. I think we cover a lot of really awesome things today. So let's talk about some solutions. All right. So on the financial side, our first topic, from a brokerage level down to an individual agent, what can people do to be mindful of where they're contributing their money, right, towards entities like that, and then their own business, right? So let's start with that one. Let's talk about some solutions for that one, in that financial sense. As a contributor, because every one of us are at a brokerage, which means we are a contributor if we're selling anything or paying our monthly fees. And then, of course, as an individual real estate agent in our business. So, Walt, I bet you would want to start this one.
So I would say it starts, every single person, it starts with their individual goals and their individual budget, right? Because money is as unique as every single individual on the planet, right? I have different money goals than you have, Robert. I'm sure, Robert, you have different money goals than Kat. A brand new agent is going to have different money goals than an icon agent. You have to know what your goals are. You have to know what your finances are. And then as it pertains to where am I going to spend money to grow my business, you need to know, at least on a conceptual basis, what is the ROI on the money I'm going to spend, so that I know if it's worth it to put that money in there. So like I hear that concept a lot where people are like, well, I pay for Zillow as an example, but it's a 10x ROI on my time. I pay $12,000 a year for Zillow, but I've closed $120,000 in commissions this year. Okay. If you've put that much detail and that much granularity and you know your numbers, and so you're making a wise financial business decision off of it, wonderful. You do you. Nothing wrong with that. What a lot of agents, especially newer agents, they get into is they don't have their own budget locked down. They don't know how to plan for that kind of roller coaster income that happens a lot until you really start to understand how you grow a consistent business. And so the first thing they think they need to do is grab some money and throw it into lead gen, throw it into marketing, right? So I see this all the time in really large Facebook groups and different forums. New agents they'll literally just say something like, if I had $5,000 to spend on lead gen, where would I spend it? No, don't. If you're a brand new agent and you've got $5,000 in the bank, congratulations. You're probably going to spend it in the next 90 days until you start closing deals. Don't spend money you don't have yet. So if they've built out their budget and they know they can afford it, and they've made the strategic business decision to implement some of that lead gen strategy, that's a different story. But if you haven't locked down your own goals and your own budget, and you know what the ROI on your dollar will be, don't spend any money until you've locked that down. That's Walt Key's opinion.
I think on the contributing side of things, take responsibility for your actions. Where your money is spent does make a difference. And when you spend money willfully at a company that is mismanaging, misusing, whatever you want to call it, but negatively impacting your industry, you're part of the problem now. You are a contributor, a willful contributor to the problem. It does affect you, and it does affect your clients, and it does affect the agents on your team, and your partners, and your friends, and your lenders, and all of the people in our industry. It does affect it when you purposely spend money on a company that is intentionally poorly operating. There are people, and I encourage any agents, there are people who saw this that are not agents and said, I told you the sky is falling. I told you the real estate market is crashing. I told you real estate agents have no idea and you should not be having them represent you in your sale because they can't even manage their own funds. You think it doesn't hurt you, and you think that you can just spend your money contributing to a company that is very popular and well known and makes headlines? You
Even
think that isn't
headlines?
No. You're a contributor to the problem. And I think, and I know that sounds a little harsh, but that's the truth.
Well, no, it's 100% true. If you think about that from the personal finance perspective, right? Let's say you're running a successful business and you want to invest for the long term, right? Because you're in real estate and there's very few models that allow you to have a retirement plan. So you got to be mindful, like, I got to put money away for retirement. And you go interview a bunch of financial planners and you say, tell me what the track record is for the product that I would be investing in. Well, statistically speaking, we lose more money than we make, but we're happy to take your money too. I'm good. I think I'll go put my money somewhere where they know how to invest it and grow it so that it's sustainable. You would never hand your money to somebody to invest if their track record was, I lose money. Why would you do that for your business? Why would you invest money into your business with someone that has a track record of losing the money you invest? Right? Don't do that to yourself, right? What about you, Irene? What do you think?
Button.
No, I think Kat was going to talk.
I said it. Stop looking for the easy button.
Stop looking for the easy button.
Yeah, what she said.
Society looks for the easy button in freaking everything.
We should invent a grind button.
I like that.
Instead of
That's the next Hawaiian shirt. It's going to be grind buttons. I like it.
I feel like you might pick up some dudes wearing that shirt.
Yeah, you will.
Maybe that's not the next line shirt. That's fair. That's fair.
I wasn't referring to Catherine or Irene.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah, you need to preface that for sure.
So, Chris, let me ask you this: as an icon agent, you make lots of money. Congratulations. Would you ever hand money to somebody who has a known track record of losing it? Is that a wise business decision on your part?
I'm married, so
I mean,
Wow.
losing, spending. You call it what you want.
No comment.
If we see his head disappear off the screen, we know she hit him. It's fine.
Yeah, we know I'm getting murdered. I think that $7, $8 a drink at Starbucks is losing money, but you call it what you want.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You're not allowed on here anymore. Get out of here.
Unless somebody's got the hookup.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, let me ask that differently, since you're not trying to get your wife in trouble. From a business owner's perspective, right? You're a successful business owner. Would you ever partner with somebody that has a known track record of losing money when your business is to make money? Would you ever do that?
No. I have zero.
Well, you heard it from the icon agent, ladies and gentlemen. Partner with people who know how to make money, because that's what you're here for, to make money. Don't partner with people that have a track record of losing your money. How we wrap it up right there. Done. Icon agent said so.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
And don't go to Starbucks every day.
All right, so we covered that.
Yeah.
I think we've laid it out pretty honestly and transparently. There is a solution, though. The solution really is being accountable for your own actions and your own decisions. If you don't know, if you've never run a business before or never run a business successfully, you need to go get financial help. If you have, you need to make sure that you can't do it better and that someone is monitoring and making sure that they're looking out and they got your back covered. That can be your financial planner. It should also be your CPA. You should have an army of people around you. Now, on the other side, where you spend your money, be accountable for it. If you want a good image for your industry, don't support things that have a bad image for our industry. Don't support things that demean our industry, belittle our industry. You can go buy leads from Zillow, but just understand that every time you buy a lead from Zillow, it's telling the customer that the agent isn't necessary, that the agent doesn't matter, because that's what Zillow tells the customer. That is what the Zillow, and that's okay if that's Zillow's model and you want to support that. But don't complain when people go, oh, the industry has the real estate agents are corrupt. They're all after money, blah, 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 blah. And then they see a major brokerage is losing unbelievable amounts of money. And Zillow's whispering in their ear every single day that the agent doesn't matter.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Accept responsibility. And then what was the other thing? I already forgot what the other topic was.
That's pretty much it. So for any agent out there who doesn't know how to put their business finances together, shoot me a note. I'll sit down with you for an hour. I'll jump on a Zoom call. I'll walk you through how to lay out a good budget that balances out that crazy roller coaster of income. I'm happy to help. I'll charge you $0 for it.
He's not lying. He will charge you $0 for it.
In the near future, there will be a course that we'll be teaching specifically on real estate finance. So that will be coming. But in the meantime, if somebody needs some help putting that together, let me know.
Sweet. Guys, I think this was a powerful session. Anybody watching, seriously, take Walter up on his offer. Definitely don't miss an opportunity to have someone pour into you who will listen, tell you honestly. I know that I think everybody here, I believe everybody here, if it's not the right fit for you, it's okay. The goal here and why we even do this live is to help you make informed decisions that are best for your business. So we mean that. Whether you're with us or not, I just want to put that out there. Whether you are a glorified icon agent, worshiper or not, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna help you figure this out. Lead gen sources, brokerage choices, team choices, drop a comment, send us a message, and we'll do our best. We'll give you the questions to ask that we talked about today and some extra ones, some things to look for. We'll connect you to free resources when it comes to lead gen stuff. We got you. We're happy to pour into you because I think each and every one of us wishes that someone did that for us when we got started. So, or actually even now, there's still like times where I'm like, man, I wish someone would do that for free. Thank God for people like Brad. Shout out to Brad. Text him yesterday, 5 seconds later on the phone. What do you need? I'm like, man, that feels good. That feels really good. All right, guys, we will see you next week, 8 a.m. Central live to talk about maybe some more trending topics. This was fun.
Yep. Have a blessed weekend, everybody.